So I'm gonna do that. Hey, what's up, Street Talks? Eric from the Eric Street Photography Blog.
Hey.
Currently in not Marseille, but
Stockholm.
So second interview I'm doing with Damien. So we'll do this. Okay. So Damien, since the last time we've talked in Marseille, where have you been?
I lived a while in Paris and I moved to Tokyo for a year. Now I'm just back here in Stockholm.
So you're in Tokyo, one of the coolest cities in the world. Why'd you leave?
I was tired to be in Europe. I wanted to have something new, to experience something new, try like a different life. And I've been to Japan before a couple of times, so I wanted to try to live there for a year and see how it is and like make a photo project there.
So as a white guy living in Japan, how was that?
It's a good experience. It's not so easy, but like it's a lot of fun, and yeah, it's like photo-wise, it's very interesting. It's a very good place.
Yeah, because one thing you're saying is that when you're living in Japan for a long time as a foreigner was quite difficult for you.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about the difficulties you had?
Yeah, it's hard to really talk with the people, get along with them, and like of course the language like gap, you know, this is complicated, and just like yeah, it's a cultural difference, like overall, like it's quite complicated.
Like what kind of cultural differences?
Yeah, just like in the way like you can express yourself and behave, or just like things you can do or not. You know, like we used to be quite familiar in Europe and, you know, in the US as well, but there you have to get like a bit more distance, and it's
so
different.
A person in Japan wouldn't be like, hey, how's it going, buddy?
No, you don't start hugging people. No, you don't do that. It's just like, yeah, it's different, but it's nice. It's just you have to get to understand it.
But it looks like so I went to your website. What was your website again?
DamienVignol.com.
So Damien Vignol. How do you spell that again?
DamienVignol.com.
So I looked through your Japan series, and you know, it's a pretty big edit. It's around like 60 images so far. You know, personally I think the edit's a bit too big, but the thing I really liked about your project is it was so personal, and I felt like a lot of emotion in this series. I mean, you're connecting photos of people, the buildings, you know, like animals, all these different things you feel like.
Yeah.
Like, can you tell us more about just the emotion, your experiences that went into the project?
But the thing is, like before I used to shoot a bit more like kind of like typical street photography, like people in the street, like for a stranger. But when I was there, I saw that I needed to do something more personal, something more about my life, and mostly like my experience about living in Japan. Not so much about Japan itself, but my point of view and my feeling there. So I started shooting like everything that was like in my surrounding. Could be like my friend, could be like, yeah, a pet.
Still recording? Okay, all right,
yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so I started shooting everything that I just found interesting, like around me, could be like anything, and then it started like building up like some kind of portrait of like my life and what it is to be like
gotta move.
to be in Japan as a foreigner. And it's funny because I showed it to several like foreigners that live there also.
Yes.
They completely like recognize themselves into that, like, and they said that they had the same feeling. So yeah, it's like, but it's not done yet because I shot a lot of film, but I only like saw like maybe like a tenth of what I've shot.
How many? You said you shot what film again?
I shot like some black and white Neopard 400, and I shot maybe 150 films, and
wow.
I just developed them and scanned maybe only like 20 out of that, and the rest is yet to proceed.
I mean, come on, Damien. Why are you shooting with film? Why don't you just shoot with like digital, like any decent photographer?
No, I stick to film because I like the grain better. I like the just the aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I think I like also the fact that it takes longer time, and I just like shoot and then like I keep the film for a while, and then maybe I'm gonna scan them later and do something out of it. And it's not like so instant like the digital. Like, yeah, it's just like more relaxed, I feel, and I just like the aesthetic.
I mean, so you know the emotions you're capturing in Japan in your project. What are you trying to show?
Yeah, like I said, it's just like I try to show like my feeling of that place, because I'm not trying to like make a portrait of the place itself, because you know, like it's like, so the culture is so different, so it's like I would have to stay there maybe 10 years to do something really in depth. But like when I'm just here for a year, and I thought that, yeah, I just want to show like my feeling and just, yeah, how it feels to be there.
Because I mean, it looks like it was a combination inspiration from like, you know, Daido Moriyama, Anders Peterson, Jakob Asobol. Can you tell us about how those photographers inspired you?
Yeah, of course, they inspired me a lot in that sense that first, like, they shoot films, they shoot black and white, they shoot like this kind of compact like camera like I do too, and they also do something that is quite personal, like and Daido Moriyama is in Tokyo, he's been shooting Tokyo a lot, so of course like it has a bit of the same aesthetic, but like yeah, we're all different, we all have different like kind of interests, and we're not drawn to the same thing, so I think that's what make our work different.
So what if someone told you, oh, you're just trying to copy,
No,
you know,
never.
these other Japanese photographers or
No, I
these
don't-
other Yakuba, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
like how
yeah.
would you respond to that kind of criticism?
Oh, I think like if you just look at the photo, it's different. Now also it's from a different time. Let's say like Daido Moriyama was famous for his work in the 70s, 80s, and like definitely like what I'm shooting now is completely different. It's another time, and I don't think that my style really, aside from the black and white kind of very contrasty look, it's not like, it doesn't look like some Moriyama or Anders Petersen work.
And wait, so what cameras are you currently shooting with right now?
I've been shooting a lot of my Leica MP there, M7, like 28mm 35, and now like mostly I shoot like Contax T2, like Yashica T4.
What do you have in your camera bag right now?
Right now I have like the T2.
The T2. Okay, so show us your bad boys.
Yeah, I love it. It's like a very beautiful camera.
Okay, let me zoom on that.
It works very well, and it just like it takes super nice photos. Like the images are super sharp, and I like it because I don't have to worry about the settings and stuff. I just like literally point and shoot, and yeah, and the result is always great. And once you know exactly how it works, you get like 100% like good like results all the time.
So why not the T3?
Just like the price difference, I don't think it's worth it. Like I'm sure it's a great camera, like I don't doubt about it, but it's just like it's like double the price.
Yeah.
So at the end, like I'm not sure like the image difference would be.
Yeah. Well, let's see the T2. Well, actually, I have a T3, and it's broke on me like twice.
Yeah.
Because the good thing about the T2 is this opening mechanism to open that.
Yeah.
It's just open and close, whereas the T3 it's kind of like 3 blades that just kind of open like this.
Yeah, and sometimes
it breaks really easily.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And also it's much more ergonomic too, right? Like
Yeah, it's compared
like
to
the T3 is like holding like a bar of soap.
Yeah, but compared to other potential, it's a bit bigger, but at the same time you don't feel like you're holding like really like a disposable camera. It's like a real camera. You can feel like you can manual focus.
And you show us how you could manual focus
like you
on
just
this.
like go on this.
Wait,
you
don't
turn
move
it,
it. Right here.
and then you can set the distance, and you have like
okay.
a small LED in the screen that tells you like the distance.
So it's like from 0.7 all the way to infinity, or you could just use autofocus.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you not like about this camera? What do you not like about this camera?
Yeah, the minimum focus is 0.7. So this is a bit like because I like shooting maybe portrait. If I go to bars or party, I can get really close and just take like a face with like what I do with my big mini or the compact camera. And with this one, I have to stay like 70 centimeters away.
You also love languages.
Yeah.
Tell us which language do you know?
Well, I'm French, so I speak French, English.
You're French?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I know Italian, and I know like I've been learning Japanese. And so it's not so good yet, but like I had to, because in Japan like most people don't speak English, and I speak and I'm trying to speak Swedish too now that but I'm not gonna try to speak any of these languages now.
Wait, so we were having a conversation earlier. You're actually saying nowadays you're more interested in languages than photography.
Yeah, I think it's just like I really like to travel, like discover like new places and people, and I think learning languages is also like a way of like being able to communicate with people, and you learn a lot about the culture of like a country when you start to learning the language, like the words and just everything, the writing, and I really like that.
How do you see your photography and language learning passions combining?
Yeah, with traveling maybe, keep doing like trying to go somewhere I like going somewhere for a long time. I don't like going just on holiday, so if I can get a visa somewhere and go for a year or two, then I'd like definitely to do that. And then of course I'm gonna like do photo, but like wherever I go I'm gonna try to learn languages. Could be like in China or in any country. I would definitely try to always try to be able to communicate.
So why Stockholm?
I actually lived here like for 8 months, like in 2010.
Okay.
And I have a lot of friends, and I feel like it's a very nice city. People there are quite nice. I mean, very nice, and it's very comfortable, very cozy place. I like it.
So you like the cold?
No, not really. That's the only flaw I think of this city. It's just like, oh, it's a bit cold, yeah.
Yeah, but then, so you know, I've traveled a lot the last few years as well.
Mm-hmm.
And how old are you right now, Damien?
Hmm?
How tell us how old you are.
32.
So you're 32, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, both of us were still pretty young, but I feel oftentimes when I'm traveling is that like it's so much about the traveling. It's not, and it's like kind of trying to escape some sort of dissatisfaction I have with my life or this lack of direction.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you feel that for you traveling is kind of like maybe an escape? Do you see your life's purpose being about traveling, or is it, you know what I mean?
It's like it's more than that, but definitely like it's a way of escaping. Also, like being like having to work, having to like settle down, maybe like do this kind of thing. I think like when you travel, you just like you leave all your problem behind and you just go for like new things, and well, it's very exciting. So you kind of it's like an addiction, then you just want to keep doing that, but but at some point you have to like catch up with reality and be like, okay, now I'm 32 and it would be nice to settle down somewhere, have a place to live and not just be living in a luggage.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people will be jealous of your lifestyle. I mean, you've been like all over Asia, where you've been like Taiwan. Like tell us all the places your travels taking in the last few years.
Traveling a bit everywhere in Japan, like Taiwan, Hong Kong, Indonesia. Yeah, it was amazing, and I wish I could have gone to China and like Philippines, but. Yeah,
what are some so for street photographers who want to travel, are there any places in Asia that you think are very underrated for street photography?
I think some like outside of Tokyo in Japan can be really nice, like Okinawa. Like definitely there's not so many people shooting there, and it's very nice. It's like more like kind of old, like kind of Japan. And also like Taiwan, there's no street photographer at all, so if you go there, basically you can shoot like people, like, and they don't mind at all because they're not like used to it, so they don't have like anything against it. So, and like Hong Kong, like in the other like it's the opposite because everyone shoot there, so it's a bit like harder to shoot. But yeah, I think Taiwan is a great place.
And what tips do you have for street photographers who, let's say, okay, I have a 2-week trip to Japan. What do I bring in my bag? Should I bring all my cameras and lenses and clothes and what are some of the mistakes you think you had when you first started traveling?
Yeah, I went in Japan with all my medium format camera and like tons of lens and stuff, and at the end I ended up like shooting mostly my compact camera.
Oh, compacts.
So I feel like at the end just like stick with one camera and maybe like one lens or two, and that's it, like one film, and like travel light, it's better.
So I mean, so many people dream of getting a Leica, but now you're funny enough shooting these compact cameras. What benefits do you find compact cameras over shooting with Leica? Because I mean, Leica is still pretty compact.
I mean, I love Leica, it's great. If I do portrait, I love shooting with Leica, but it's just like when you shoot compact, you don't have to worry about like all the aperture, the speed, and like should I do like some bokeh or not, like some motion blur. You just like shoot, like the camera set everything by itself, so you don't like, it's more like raw kind of, like it's more like that direct, and you focus more on like the scene or like the person you're shooting than the camera and like the settings. So I think it's kind of like easier.
And what do you think, like maybe medium format, do you think it's like overrated?
No, I love medium format, like definitely. Like I shoot my Rolleiflex sometimes, medium, my Mi S7, but just like, definitely not for the street, maybe for something different, like some urban shot or like architecture or portrait, definitely it's amazing. But I'm trying not to mix like different projects. So when I was in Japan, I was like mostly shooting like a compact camera or like my Leica, and that was it.
So talking about projects, I know a lot of photographers who want to start a project, and like how do you know when to start a project and when to end a project, and how do you even choose a project to work on?
I don't really know. It's like I get interested by something. Like in Japan, it was like I've been in holiday there before, and I felt there was really something different that I was like interested into, and I didn't really get it, but I was just like, oh, I need to do something there. So I moved there, and the first weeks I was just like wandering around and like shooting a bit, but not shooting so much. I was trying to get a bit an idea of like what I was actually interested into, and then I start shooting slowly, and like one film after another, start like something was getting out of that, and I could see like a direction, and at the end, the last months I was there, I knew exactly what I was shooting. And I think the best is really to really decide to do something and just like go somewhere and just stick to that. And like when I was there, I was just like going out always with my black and white film camera. I never like was taking any other camera. I was always thinking about this project, and nothing like got in the way.
Can you tell us more about I guess your editing and sequencing? Because I mean, you're in Japan for like a year. You shot like how many rolls of film totally?
150.
150 rolls. So you got a shitload of photos, right?
Yeah.
So how do you sit down, say, okay, these are the ones I'm gonna keep, these are the ones ditch, and determine even the order which you put the photos
Actually, I haven't
together?
done that yet. I just like developed the film, and like I haven't even scanned them or print them. But I guess like what I've done with my previous project in France is just like I scan everything, then I put everything in like
what scanner are you using?
Like a V700, like Epson,
Uh-huh.
and I just put everything in Lightroom. I try to like first I edit out all like all the picture that I think is not good for this project, and then like so I kind of like have like less picture, and then I see them again. I try to like have even less, and then I print them. I make like small prints that I can like see in my hand, and then I try to maybe like I did a dummy like last time, and so I just bought like a notebook and I glued a picture in it, and then start like taking the shape of a book. And I think I'm gonna like do that again this time.
Why books? Why not just upload them online?
Yeah, I like the feeling of the book. I like having it on the shelf.
So tell us about the sensual relationship you have with books. Like when you find a photography book that you really like, or you buy a photography book, what do you do? Tell us again.
Yeah, it's just like when you take the book, you just like have it in your hand, you open it, and you touch the cover, you see like you feel the paper, you look at the binding and like how it's glued inside, and that's like something very like nice about it. Just the feeling of like touching it and holding it like before even looking at the photo, and then once you start like turning the pages, then it can get like very like magical, I think.
What are your top favorite photography books of all time?
Yeah, Anders Peterson, like Soho, I really like it. I like some classic book like the American. I love like Eggleston, like what he did, like a lot of books that he did, and so many. Yeah.
Or this is a question maybe I want to ask you, is that what book do you own that's not as famous that you think everyone should read?
I actually don't own so many books because I'm traveling all the time.
Or maybe inspiration from photographers, or like certain photographers that aren't as famous whose work you really like.
Well, there's many Japanese photographers that aren't so famous, like from the 70s, 80s. Like
what are the names?
Yeah, it's hard to say name now, but like there's so many like I don't even remember the name. I have a folder on my computer where I just save picture of them because I think it's amazing, and we never heard about them. It's just like they are completely unknown to like the Western world.
And when you're working on your photography and your projects, are there ever moments that you feel dissatisfied with your photography, or you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll never be good as photographer X, Y, or Z. Like, how do you overcome these moments of self-doubt?
Yeah, like when I was in Japan, sometimes I really didn't feel like shooting anymore, but like I was, and I had up and down. Sometimes I wasn't shooting for a week, but then I was like, I'm there for that, so I'm trying just to get motivated and try to, like buying a new camera was actually quite good. Like,
really?
It's so cheap there. Sometimes I was just going to a store, buy like a 500 yen camera and start shooting.
How much is 500 yen in euros?
It's like €3 something. Yeah,
3 euros, that's all, like $6?
Yeah, something like that. I bought like a, what's that, Canon Autoboy. Like it's so cheap. Like I think I paid 300 yen. And I did like a part of my project with that. It's just, like, it's just a compact camera and it worked really well. So I think it was just fun to use a different camera, or like, just try to get, I don't know, go to a different place and do something different.
So what cameras do you currently own now?
Yeah, like M7 MP, Mamiya 7 Rolleiflex, Contax T2, Yashica T4, Konica Big Mini, some underwater Canon camera.
And what lenses do you have?
28 Elmaris, 35 semi-chron aspherical, and but I don't really use them actually.
So, if you could choose one camera for about 80% of your photography, what would it be?
The T2, I think. Yeah,
Contax T2?
Yeah, definitely a compact one.
Yeah, and you know, if you started photography all over again, what would you have done differently?
Oh, that's a tricky question. What would I have done differently?
Or things you regret, things you did or you didn't do in your photography. Like if you could step into a time machine and meet Damien from, let's say 3 years ago, what would you tell?
I think
what would you tell yourself?
I should have like tried to like shoot like more like different thing, that because for a time I was only in portrait and then only like in street photography. I think it's good to like to not like have like limitation, just do any kind of thing. And yeah, I think it's fun, and it helps you getting better, and you try to get a different point of view, and at the end it's still you shooting, so of course like the picture, they are connected, there's a link, we can see that it's the same person, it's just like different approach. And I think this is good. Most of people like they want to do one thing, could be street photography or portrait or landscape, but I think it's always good to try like different like thing. And yeah.
Another question I hear from other interviewers, so as you've gotten older, what has become more important for you in your life, and what has become less important for you?
I don't really need like recognition of like other people. I don't mind like before maybe I wanted my name to be out and people know like what I was doing, but now I don't really mind that anymore. I just want like maybe a few people know what I'm doing and just like doing it well, and like just like be like, I need to settle down a bit, have like more like cozy life than before. Maybe I need less like action than before.
So for people out there interested in street photography, who are some street photographers, contemporary street photographers, not like Magnum guys or anything like that, that you recommend people follow? Maybe people you know on the internet or anything like that?
One guy that I really like, that I had the chance to hang out with in Japan, is like John Seipel.
John Seipel,
yeah, from Tokyo Camera Style.
Yes.
And like everyone knows him from his blog, but actually he's an amazing photographer.
Yes.
Like he shoots like a lot, like I don't know how many rolls per month, and it's just like it's like amazing. It's like mind blowing, like what he's doing, and I think everyone should look at what he's doing.
Yeah.
Really, especially if you like Japan and black and white photo and Leica. Yeah.
Any other photographers?
There's like no, I think that's it. No, there's a lot, but I think just him.
Any last words, piece of advice to street photographers starting off? Anything else you're working on that you'd like to mention or stuff like that?
Yeah, I think like everyone should just like get a ticket to go somewhere for a while, just go shoot, and just bring one camera with you, one film, and stick to that, and just like go shooting, and that would be it.
Right on. And this might be fun. I just had an idea for an interview question. What was one question you'd ask me?
When do we see like a photo project, like a book project?
Like what kind of book?
Yeah, a new book, like something new.
Something new from me.
Yeah.
Oh, you could hold this.
Yeah.
Good.
We want something.
Yeah, so for my medium format photography, I'm shooting mostly urban landscapes, some portraits. I brought along here to Stockholm, and it's really big and heavy, but I'm so glad I shot it. I've been having so much fun shooting with different experience looking down. But yeah, I mean, most people I show it to, no one really likes it. A few people do. I like it, so
that's the most important.
Yeah, so that's the difficult thing. It's like, how much am I trying to shoot to please my audience versus trying to please myself? But I think ultimately, if I shoot to please myself, 1 or 2 people will like it out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm probably working on. Urban landscapes, medium format, probably more 35mm photos of us.
Nice, good to hear.
Sweet. All right, peace out, guys.
Thank you, Rick.